welcome to Skipping the Queue, episode, I think 8, actually?
7.
7. Because sorry, I was thinking that the new one was 9. Anyway, my name is Red. I am joined by Mel for the first time in a while.
Hello, I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm also looking for a new co-host. I hear some people on the staff aren't too kind to Pisces.
Yeah, listen. We've got HR involved. It will be resolved. I'm also joined by Raden.
Hello. I don't have anything quippy to say this time. My brain broke.
That's absolutely fine. And we're watching 2 episodes of... Well, we watched 2 episodes of Blazar. We didn't cover episode 7 last week because... First, it's a part 1. Second, we were just kind of busy.
I was driving back from Chicago and getting stuck in traffic. It was a rough time.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, this episode of Blazar, I'll just broadly lay it out. We got Gento's mentor has summoned a kaiju with the intention of washing away human civilization and allowing humanity to start again, this time living in fear of nature and going in the right direction. And that's all kind of set up in part 1. Blazar doesn't do too hot in the fight and has to back off. And then in part 2, Teruaki is the one that wants to persuade Gento's mentor to give up this quest to destroy human civilization, using a lot of the same arguments that Gento does, and succeeds kind of ish, but then his mentor says the hardest line in the show so far, and then they have a little shootout, and he Teruaki shoots off the rings on his arm, and that releases control of the kaiju, and now the kaiju can be defeated by Blazar. And that's the end. Gento's mentor does not get sent to jail for this because, it seems a little ridiculous that one person could be responsible for so much, and there's just insubstantial evidence. So he's out. He's gone fishing. A lot of fishing in the show.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
Sam Ryder Fisher.
Yeah. And yeah. That's the 2 episodes. We've got a Teruaki episode.
I could not believe that we actually did in fact get the Teruaki episode as part of the 2-part
stuff Teruaki focus episode, which is good.
It was good. I liked Teruaki's stuff. Him at the very end having solved everything and just being like, okay, can I now ask you to sign your book for me, please? Pretty good. Where do we want to start?
Post this Nijika.
What was that?
Oh, I was saying post this Nijika because
post Nijika.
The name of
yes.
the kaiju.
Fuck. Yes. Post this Nijika. Fuck. Okay. We need to do that shit post that immediately after this episode. Post this Nijika. Yes. I don't want to direct things. Where do we want to start?
I think the upside down rainbow as a well-known image or symbol rather of incoming doom rules a lot, actually.
It's pretty sick.
I like that they did the very the classic kaiju as a force of nature, as a reaction to humanity fucking with things, and this being a cyclical event that's been going on since ancient times, sort of, all that was my jam. I kept wondering during the second episode if this needed necessarily to be a two-parter. I don't know that it did, honestly. I think we could have gotten a lot of this done in one.
I guess we had to squeeze in some. We had to get a Teruaki episode, but also it's just. I think there's just some. I get like there's just some kick that you get out of like the good guy's super special move wasn't enough to beat the monster this time. So it's time for power scaling.
I always would have imagined that would be a thing you do after you get the character-centric episodes. Like, we get through all of these, and then, like, we have our first big two-parter, and then, oh no, it looks like he's gonna lose, and then, But
I guess
with form is fun sometimes.
I guess in this sense, they might be going even more economical. Because now we've got Teruaki's stuff done.
That is true.
I did like the fact that all the like ritual stuff around summoning. What's it called? Nijikagachi?
I think so. Let me just look it up.
All the stuff like the little stone statues of the kaiju.
Nijikagachi.
Nijikagachi. All the little like stone statues and stuff. That's pretty cool. I don't know where I lost my train of thought just then.
The good monster design. I like it a lot.
Yeah, apparently the monsters in the show are selling out pretty well, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's been in recent years uncommon for the kaiju to actually be marketable, but it's working this show.
I just feel like everything's going too well for this show. Like, I realize that's not a thing. That it can just blow up and just everything will be fine. But I just feel like some kind of deal with the devil happened. It's all gonna come back to bite them eventually.
The Dark Subaraya era.
Yeah.
We're slowly going to start to see Satanist imagery in the show.
The Dark Subaraya anthology.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, there's a...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, there's a lot of cool shots in this show, in these episodes, with just, like, the kaiju being the center of, like, Typhoon, and so you have, like, the area being totally clear, but with, like, the ring of dangerous storm clouds around the area. Blazar jumping up and grabbing the rainbow is very sick.
Yes, the big...
Oh, that was great.
The big moment right at the end, grabbing the rainbow for the super move. Very cool. Big fan. I guess to get into like the plot, the like two big moments in both of these episodes are arguments between Gento and his mentor, and then Teruaki, and I've just straight up forgotten this mentor guy's name.
Me too.
Yeah. But they don't say it often.
Do I have it? They call him the professor, but...
The professor. I will call him the professor. That works for me.
Yeah, all I have in my notes is professor.
He is a kaiju specialist.
He's a kaiju specialist. He's written books on kaiju.
I think they said he was originally, like, did research with the... What's the group? GGF? Whatever the one in... Whatever the larger organization.
Yeah, the TDF, but for modern Ultraman, for Ultraman Blazar. Yes, his book is written. Teruaki specifies his book is written from the from the point of view of kaiju, viewing humanity through kaiju, and discussing like the various problems that humanity, the plague on nature and stuff. Mainly the argument from I saw someone tweet something along the lines of like, it's nice that the main character of this show is the captain of the crew because he has the confidence and experience to actually like argue to like dismiss the evil speeches. And the response that had been screenshotted was, but humanity is part of nature. And I was like, this is an 8-year-old's argument.
Yeah.
Now
that was the exact line too that killed me, where I was like, oh no, someone sat in on like a freshman ecology class. This is bad.
I will say that, like, you know, just like I'm just like someone who listens to like, I listen to I listen to Lefty podcasts, and like as if someone in a settler colonial country also listens to podcasts from like a indigenous perspective. So I would at least say that, like,
yes, an
indigenous perspective would be that yes, humanity is part of nature, and the issue is, it's not that Gento and Teruaki are like at like the base level correct. That's, you know, it's just. Anyway, you continue. I can look back.
Oh no, that's okay. Because you are right, and I do want to be like more specific. The specific like way that this is deployed is the same way that it's deployed in like 90% of like the anime and JRPGs about this, which is it's like, humanity is part of nature. It's not like it's not like a foundational like understanding of anything. It's like a gotcha. It's like but you know, we're part of nature. So your criticisms are invalid, and the criticisms his criticisms still stand.
Yeah, and like that's the thing. Also, a thing from like I can glean from the worldview of these episodes, because like, you know, obviously this show is a toy commercial. So it is a product being made in a liberal capitalist society, and it's just interesting how like everyone's like reactions to like the professor's grand statements of like, oh, humanity is destroying nature, is like, he's right, but he's not doing it right. Like, they don't actually challenge the core unessential assertions, which, you know, someone who's like from a socialist indigenous perspective would be like, wait a minute, what do you mean we? It's it's like a capitalism specific thing, and extractive industries that's causing environmental destruction, and not just like, you know, humanity naturally does this, and you know, that's why you get people like pushing back against the concept of like the Anthropocene as like, no, this is not a humanity thing. This is a very specific economic mode that is doing this.
Yeah, the like characterizing it as like the malaise of all people has caused, and like our unwillingness to do nature and stuff. It's like the like I am the specific thing I am talking about when I say like this is the argument of an 8-year-old is this is all the argument of an 8-year-old. This is obviously, because it's for children. It's a show for children. I realize it's kind of aimed at an audience, because they do have an adult audience, and like Blazar is like deliberately playing to that, but also this entire, as much as I like these episodes, I think they do this argument just fine. I think it's absolutely fine. But you know, I can't talk about it without pointing at it and going, well, this whole thing is stupid for children.
I mean,
it was very goofy. Yeah,
I mean, it is like, I would also say that the professor, technically speaking, his position is technically an eco-fascist one. If you really think about it.
Yeah. I'm not saying like I am saying that the framework of this is not. This is, you know, his evil speech and the rebuttal are all part of like the same the ideology, kind of.
Yeah. I just wanted to point that out too, because I've definitely also seen like the phrase eco-terrorist thrown around, and like, well, I think that is correct. I also, you know, I just, you know, just feel like the term eco-terrorist is some horseshoe theory labeling to be like, oh, eco-fascist and the people who oppose pipelines on indigenous land are the same thing. So, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you know.
Yeah.
Crossing our T's, dotting our I's.
Absolutely.
And
thank you.
Teruaki is bringing at least a more well-informed argument, being like, okay, listen, your actions will kill other things besides people, by the way.
Yes, that is like the one bit that's like a step towards like a good, like any kind of good point being made.
The professor's like, you're also true. You're also correct. However, only one of us can be correct.
His like the hard, the me referring to the hardest line is him saying, well, you're correct, but there can't be two correct opinions on this, and therefore, according to Darwinism, one of us has to survive and one of us has to be selected against, and pulls like doesn't pull a gun but starts to do his energy blast, which is his equivalent. which is very stupid and very cool.
That scene is pretty fun, both just because, like, you know, well, earlier we get, like, Gento being like, he's my professor, I'm gonna try and negotiate and take him out if needed. And Teraki's like, no, I'll do it. First of all, giving the most ridiculous statement, I've read all his books, I know how he thinks. And I'm like,
yes, I'm more suited for this.
So true.
And then, me, I've read all his books, as opposed to you, who's actually, you know, was his student.
Has a working relationship.
Listen. I love to speak for Tomino on Twitter. I do it all the time.
You basically know the guy.
I am not above this. I'm like, well, naturally, obviously.
And Gendo's like, are you sure? Do you have what it takes to pull the trigger? And Teraki's like, I don't know. Do you?
That was sick.
That was a good line. But yeah, then we have like just a good moment as, like, you know, Gento and Yasunobu go in Earth Garon, and then, you know, the rest of the gang goes to negotiate. Emi notably being in sniper position while also lamenting, I want to see Earth Garon's new guns, which we haven't talked about, but Earth Garon gets much to Yasunobu's like, he doesn't want to do it because he's not satisfied that the preparation is done, but they have to strap on the massive rail guns from the Tortoise episode to
even
Earth
though
Garon.
they've never been tested. I've been argued, and we saw a lot of testing.
We saw them tested against Earth Garon.
Yeah. Apparently that doesn't count.
No. We do get Chekhov's gun. He like misses the recoil, sends a shot up into space, and he's like, damn, I guess we can shoot into space with this thing. Maybe that'll come up later.
Maybe
that'll be useful to
I
know.
will say, this is the first time in episode I noticed Earth Garon like take a smack and then do the anime spirally eyes thing to show that it's dazed.
It's so good.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Someone had to program that.
I'm also kind of realizing as we're talking, maybe because it's just the nature of the two-parter, but I feel like we barely talked about episode 7 because like almost everything's in episode 8.
So episode 7, establishing everything, the conversation between, I mean, it's a lot of like the research into what Nijikagachi is about.
Yeah, we get the backstory of it.
Yeah, we get the backstory, including like the professor's village from years ago, praying for Nijikagachi's assistance to give them rain, because he's like a rain god, and if he's angry, well, then he's kind of a storm god. Nah.
Yeah. We also get like some context. It's interesting, like it's happening while in the middle, like before the kaiju comes. It's like if there's a drought in Japan. We got Teruaki complaining about his family's crops, for instance.
Yeah, and the professor. So we get like 2 meetings between him and Gento, but the professor, his whole deal is he's talking about like, well, kaiju used to be everywhere in Japan because people used to respect and fear them, and that was the right way of things. We should go back to
it was sort of like I think it was like a in harmony with nature thing. Was the idea, and then all the kaiju just got hunted, I guess, to extinction, basically.
Basically, it's like kind of like the painting Gento's role as like kind of big game hunter almost for gods.
Yeah. See, it was interesting to me because between this and then also the Big Turtle episode or whatever too, I love the little bits and details we get of this, of how integrated into people's lives these creatures once were, because the stuff we've seen, sometimes that's the case, but a lot of the times it just seems like there's weird shit everywhere just under the surface of the land or the sea. And I think they're doing a great job.
A weird guy from space.
Yeah, and sometimes weird. Sometimes there's a walrus in the clouds. You never know. But I like the world building, for lack of a better term, that they've been doing with that. And also too, I did also kind of feel that implication there too. Again, going into the environmental stuff of this episode of like they probably killed off a bunch of them as humanity rose to like prominence, sort of thing. But then also too, there feels like there's this implication that you kind of get from mythologies and stuff too, of like, oh, the gods went to sleep, or the gods decided to like stow away or bide their time or whatever. And sometimes they get stumbled onto and wake up and horrible things happen.
It's like the age of the gods versus the age of man kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just fun framing for a show like this.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there is like a bit of like, this definitely goes back all the way to Ultraman, where sometimes the hero is just a cop who punches out an animal for no reason. But like, it's interesting having like an argument of like kaiju are, even through like the sort of like childish argument, I guess you could say, of the characters having. It's just like, yeah, kaiju are animals too, and then like, but they're threatening humanity, so we gotta use the guns, etc. And, our heroes being on sort of like the opposite end of that.
I threw around the word childish, but like I only say so because it is literally a show for children. It's
I'm
fine.
Not to, like, I did say that with apprehension because I don't want to like be too mean to the show.
And
like it is, because it is also like a show made, is being funded by a big corporation to sell merchandise, and it is like a product.
I'm
not it's not like the writer's fault.
I'm not expecting like coherent environmentalist ideas from,
Mm.
not like Char's counterattack.
Listen, that's coherent if you think about it in the right way.
No, I honestly just thought the argument was funny, mostly as just like it felt very internet comment-y in the back and forth, and then we're gonna fight now. It was a funny time.
I like the professor's reaction being like, that's human arrogance.
Mm-hmm.
Also, good Emmy moment. She's like, yeah, so the bracelets apparently give you like a snake mark, etc., etc. And then Gento's like, where'd you find this? And she's like, I found it in his lab. I broke in.
Yep. It's very straightforward to do Emmy's job. You just be really good at breaking into places.
Do crimes, yeah.
Just do crimes.
Well, I mean, if you're working for the government, it's not a crime anymore.
Yeah, that's how it works, right? What's a warrant?
Yeah.
That is how it works in practice.
Yep.
True.
Who guards the Ultra Guard?
Ultra 7.
You know what? Ultra 7 would just kill his friends. The Ultramen would kill the friends. Would kill any humans that did wrong. I know it.
They are jealous gods.
They got the killer's eyes.
The eye of the kaiju.
I'm itching to talk about the next time on, but I don't know when a good time to be.
Let's talk about the next time on right now. Let's do it.
Yes.
It's fucking Garamon.
It's fucking Garamon.
Garamon returns part
the
3.
squeal I made.
I am not going to pretend that anyone listening to this. Well, I mean, I guess I could pretend that there are people listening to this that don't listen to Ultra Q. There might be. Garamon's cool. All you need to know is Garamon's cool.
I think people need to know about his family tree, but I won't repeat myself here.
10 times less likely to get prone to being smushed into the dirt.
True.
Pigmon. One day, Pigmon won't take an L. But until they do, Pigmon, I would like to see take continuously bigger L's.
They should have put Pigmon in this episode for the professor to be like, see, look at this one. He's just a little guy. You gonna squish him?
They accidentally step on him with Earth Garon.
Gento to Teruaki, do you have what it takes to take out Pigmon? Teruaki, do you?
I have what it takes to take out Pigmon. Not because I have hate in my heart, but because I love to watch him die. It's just too perfect. It's one of my favorite. I know it's not a good episode of Ultraman, but it's one of my favorite scenes of Ultraman. Is when Pigmon gets fucking smushed.
Oh man,
the punch is so aggressive. Anyway, yeah.
Also, I never got a chance.
Go ahead.
Rasen go.
Okay. It's a minor thing, but the continued choreography of Earth Garon and Blazar getting to work together has been really fun for me. I think it adds a lot to the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was actually expecting this episode Blazar to hold Nijika in place. That didn't happen, but It was funny. The power goes down, and then Gento gets the Blazar thing on his wrist, and he's like, "I will go. I'll go do this."
He gets a new toy. New toy.
Cool rainbow saw blade.
Yes, new toy to sell to children. New disc to put in the empty slot. It's pretty cool. Grabbing a rainbow. Good time. Just good.
Yeah, this is the cooler rainbow-themed Ultraman monster IMO. Well, I guess the other one was an Ultra Q monster, but...
Yeah.
Was it...
It was a golden rainbow, too.
Oh, it was the nuclear one.
Yeah, it was Titus.
It was the rainbow's egg.
It was the one with the kid that spoke really weirdly.
And, the egg granted dreams?
Yeah.
And the egg did make her mother walk.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that it was uranium.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there.
It's not one of the best episodes of Ultra Q, but there is a lot.
Yeah. It's by merit of most of Ultra Q being amazing, it falls quite low on the list.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I also, if we're done talking about this episode, actually wait, before we finish the episode, part of the end where they're all making fun of Teruaki, and also Gento's naming sense is pretty funny.
Oh yes.
and then the scene after where they're just oh yeah, they're out doing kaiju aftermath reconnaissance, and then they're actually just on the farm and chilling, and it's pretty funny.
It's the boys.
Gento's just like, okay, yeah, you taught me how to farm, which is cool. I'll teach you to fish next time.
All of which can be done in an evening.
Yeah.
I do think the last shot where it's just the professor, or the last shot of the professor, I can't remember if the episode ends on it or not, where he's just out.
Yeah,
is really good.
Yeah, he's just like fishing, and then he hears like the cry of Nijika, implying like Nijika is just like, not dead, just returning to the ether.
Poor Nijika.
I'm sorry to Kisoko Band. Your guitarist is having a tough time.
Yeah, they summoned her to make rain. To be honest, I've seen there's a lot of people on Twitter trying to summon Nijika. I've seen the posts.
Yeah, just like,
I've seen your tweets. I'm speaking to the general you, to not anyone here.
It is just like, his smile when he hears the cry, and just like, oh yeah, they're not dead, they're just, back to sleeping. It's pretty good.
Yeah, he can hear Anno Bando. That's the best.
If we're done talking about the episode, I'll just make a point here. I have a sneaking suspicion that it'll come up again in a later conversation that we'll release this Thursday. But anyway, I should at least talk a little bit about my thoughts of episode 6.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Yasunobu is a really ridiculous guy.
He's so cool.
It's so silly. You have to also, I'll talk a bit more about this in the Thursday pod. But I was in Japan. I did watch Blazar live on TV. And so watching episode 6 without subtitles was a really bizarre experience.
He just gets shot with a beam and takes off his shirt. And he just sat there like, what the hell is going on? Why does he look like that?
I've been thinking like every day since I saw it. There's this one tweet which is someone just like posted a gif of that and just like captioned, "When you get hit by the beam that makes you take off your shirt."
I mean, that is what happens when you get hit by the beam that makes you take off your shirt.
It was funny.
I frankly just can't imagine watching that episode and then watching it subtitled to realize there was a washer romance subplot the entire time.
The funny thing is, even without subtitles, that was like very obvious what was happening.
That's good.
Someone can only call a washing machine, a dryer, Kurun so many times where you can figure out, oh, okay. Apparently, I need to go check the exact guy, but I think it was like the director of the show made a guest appearance in the episode as like walking into the laundromat and seeing Yasunobu without his shirt. Seeing Yasunobu without his shirt on, and it slowly, awkwardly walks away.
I remember this moment distinctly because it felt like a cameo, but I didn't know who it was a cameo of, so I was like, okay, well, never mind. Yes, I know exactly who you mean.
Yeah, it was a fun episode though. I like that episode a bunch, and we may talk about it again later.
Yeah,
for no reason.
Who could say why? All right. Well, unless we have anything else, I think we can wrap it there.
I do have one thing else that is very important.
Go for it.
Because you've been slacking. I have color timers for 3 episodes.
Oh, of course. Listen, your bit has been missing from both shows. One of them for a very long time.
No longer.
So hit me.
Yeah, so episode 6, 3 minutes and 9 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 7, 2 minutes and 7 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And then episode 8, 3 minutes, 20 seconds.
All right. Nice. We have confirmation that it's not tied to minutes. That it's just like a health bar.
It's just health bar.
Yeah.
For this one, it'd be different for others.
It's like Dead Space. It's all like diegetic health bar.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sometimes I remember Dead Space's attempt to keep everything diegetic, and I think about how like it goes too far. It takes like 1 or 2 steps towards the ridiculous. But yeah. Anyway, that was skipping the queue. We'll be back next week.
I like how we did 2 episodes and it's still like not even that much longer than a normal episode.
Nah, it's fine. This is
what I'm saying. I didn't know if this needed 2 parts, but it's fine.
This is why we do. This is why we do.
This
3.
works out because I have a feeling that our Thursday episode recording will be a bit longer.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll see. I don't have much, so that'll be good.
Next week is going to be our first skipping the queue that goes over an hour because we're going to have so much to talk about with Garamon. I'm calling it.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to revisit the other Garamon episodes just for fun.
We're going to have a Garamon Pigmon movie marathon.
We're going to do a live reaction.
So you're telling me you're going to willingly subject yourself to Geronimo again?
Yep. We're gonna do a live reaction to the Geronimon episode. Every time Geronimon is on screen, we're gonna boo, and then we're not gonna give any timers. We're not gonna do any countdowns. We're just gonna let people align by when we boo, which is when Geronimon is on screen, and when we cheer and like do like standing ovation, which is when Pigmon gets fucking owned.
Yeah, one day we're gonna do Ultra Q live.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should leave this episode.
Yes. We're done. Bye-bye. I'm sorry for spoiling the Geronimon episode of Ultraman so much. It's okay. It's terrible.
It was on our skip list, though.
It was.
Wait, did it make it onto... Did it make it onto our skip list?
Yes.
What were we doing?
It was on the skip list, and Red King didn't appear in any capacity.
Oh, wait, out of our minds?
No, I think I remember the logic that got us there because we were like, you have to have 1 Pigmon episode, and of the 2, that was the better one.
Why did we do this?
Because his death is worth it. IMO. I will fight for this.
I think part of our logic was also you can't just have a skip list of Ultraman that is just the good episodes because otherwise you're lying.
Oh, I know. I do remember this. Yes, I do remember.
True.
You'd be lying if you just watched the good episodes of Ultraman. It's such a big-brained way of doing a skip list.
I can take credit for that one. I can take credit for that one because I was like, we can't just have it all Jisoji all the time.
It runs completely counter to the logic of a skip list. It's amazing. All right, we're done here. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You can see your plugs in the Thursday episode, whatever.
Yeah. At Ultra_Q on Twitter. Peace.